Hi everyone, good morning from Europe. I'm Kinnin11 and this is Kirby Superstar Ultra. And because we're really far ahead, I'll be doing the 100% category instead of the Meta Nightmare Ultra category. But don't worry, inside of the 100% category, MKU will be shown. Sorry, I just woke up, so my voice isn't all there yet. Anyways, without much further ado, can I give you a countdown?
Yeah, go for it.
In 3, 2, 1, go. So right off the bat, we are forced to start into Spring Breeze, which is sort of a tutorial area of the game. And I'm gonna try and do some funky stuff. I might feel it quite heavily, but we'll see. I haven't done this run in about a year, so expect bad things to happen here and there. Like that. Okay. Oh, I almost got it. Okay, so what I just did there was called a mix. When you suck up to enemies with abilities, you can get a mix, and by choosing the right, by hitting the right, how do you say that? By hitting on the right frame, you can get any ability you want. And I was trying to go for Jet there, but I failed. Ah well. We'll be seeing more mixes later on. Need to remember alt strats now. I'm very used to the current strats, so I need to think of what we used to do. So we're gonna do this with fire. Fire's pretty cool. Makes you go zoom. And this is one of the main things in Kirby Superstar Ultra, being able to get your ability to be a helper. And now what helpers do is they have really bad AI and they can do things for you. In this case, I'm only really using it to store fire, so I can use Crash on these two. Making this a bit easier. Oh yeah. So one of the main ways of travel with fire is this fireball. Now before every fireball, I have to jump as an input, so I have to do a jump input, otherwise I won't be able to get any height. And this is another cool ability of fire, where you turn into an inferno. And it is one of the most... it is the biggest damaging ability, or damaging move of this ability. And we'll be using it in a bit again. Oh boy. I think I'm in the wrong spot. No, I'm not. Cool. So that was a nice little quick kill. If you stand in the right spot for that Krakow fight, it will just like go up and down slightly, and because of that, you get 3 hits in and kill him instantly. And next up we have the final boss of Spring Breeze. This is DDD. And we're gonna do another Inferno. And hope to get lucky. And we got lucky! Nice! You can jump, and that kills your Inferno, which is kind of annoying. Now, at the end of most sub-games, there is a cutscene. However, by soft resetting, we can skip the said cutscene. This saves a lot of time, so we'll be doing it a bunch throughout the run. Because there are a couple of cutscenes that literally take forever. Damn, couldn't get the movement. So this is Dynablade, and the Dynablade does require me to get the mix. So we're gonna see Jet regardless of anything. There we go, first try. That's a 4-frame trick, by the way. So this is Jet. It is an ability we're going to be seeing a lot of, because it just goes really fast and at the same time is extremely versatile. One of the main moves I'm using is called the air dash, where I run, jump, and then I can chain air dashes one after the other. It is a very useful move. There's also a trick called ledge tricking, where you run off a ledge, and because of that you can go into your air dashes instantly. It's quite useful. And at the end of every stage in Dynablade you get this little kind of minigame. I just mash A for it and try to get on the 7 because that is the fastest way of doing it. There we go. So for the 100% definition in Dynablade, I have to press 2 of these buttons, and this is the first one. I'm ready. There we go, and then we get a nice little auto-scroller. So a cool thing about Jet is that move where I do all the blue things. It's called a Jet Cracker, and I can, with a full charge, I can use them whenever I want to. So I can basically just almost in place deal damage, and it deals a lot of damage. So we'll be using it as one of our main damage abilities, and that main way of dealing damage to bosses with Jet. Anyways, let's see if I can hit this movement. This is sucksy movement, by the way. Ah, damn, I messed up. You can just continuously jet through this section, so yeah, let's talk about losing your ability. In most Kirby games, whenever you get hit, you lose your ability. In this and in the original KSS and more of the modern games, you can get hit, however. In this game, if you get hit, it's completely random if you lose your ability or not. So you can randomly be punished extremely hard for messing up. And it's kind of annoying. God dang it. Again, this could have been sexy movement, but call it rust. Wow. So the way I'm doing these jets, these air dashes, by the way, is by timing. And because I'm a bit rusty, I'm messing up the timing a little bit here and there. You could technically mash them, but I would like to keep my thumb like in working order, so I'd rather just like just time them. There we go. Let's get some coffee. So this is Bugsy. Bugsy can be annoying. Because he likes to jump around and such, and you can kill him really quickly, but if you mess it up a little bit, you have to wait, and it's annoying. Dealt with him okayly. So that's another move you can do with a full charge, where you do like a really big jump. It's kind of useful. We use it here and there. Mainly to basically just skip everything in a room. There we go. So I haven't really talked about invincibility candies. Now what invincibility candies do is, well, they give you invincibility. Oh my god. But they also give you a lot of horizontal speed, which is kind of useful. Also, here's the second of the buttons. So now we've got 100% in Dynablade, which is nice. Yep, electric here. Ow. So I'm gonna do something special here. I hope I can get it. Okay, I'm gonna try it again. Ah, I messed up. Okay. So what you can do with mixing is you can actually mix a invincibility candy. Now in RTA, it's not used that often because it's really difficult to do well. This was one of the spots where it's actually a bit easier, so we do it there. But I messed up the mix. In the task, the tool-assisted speedrun, almost every single possibility where you can get a mix, they mix for candy. And it's absolutely crazy sometimes to see the task go ham at it. Anyways, we're gonna reach the boss of Dynablade. She's called Dynablade. And this is gonna be one of the more awesome things you can do with Jet. So pay close attention. 3, 2, 1. And that's a one combo. So that is the grab attack of a Jet, and it deals a lot of damage, and it basically insta-kills Dynablade, which is really, really nice. Again, soft resetting at the end to skip the cutscene. Quickly using the touchscreen there to skip a few things. So this is Gourmet Race. Gourmet Race is kind of special because your movement while running is basically the same as when you have an invincibility candy, but the moment you jump, you lose all of that speed. Now in the original KSS, you could keep that speed by doing a weird input thing. In this version that doesn't work, so yeah. Heck. We're just stuck with this. Also, level 2 it has way better music than level 1, objectively. And anyone that says otherwise can... yeah, they can heck off. There we go. Let's see if I can do this jump. Yay, we got the jump. I feel that jump more often than you think. It's really stupid and loses about a second, so I'm happy I got it. So here we're gonna use, get our first use of Wing. Now Wing is really cool because it has a little trick you can do with it. That is what you can do with it. So by mashing A and B at the same time while holding down, you can do what is called a dive cancel. Now dive canceling basically means that at the start of your down B, the dive, you go up a little bit. Now if you cancel that with a flap, you can quickly go up, and it's really nice. You'll be seeing it more often. Damn, I'm on fire with my dive cancels today. So next is the results screen. Obviously we win. Start. And instead of a cutscene, we have to just go back into the menu to get to the next sub-game. This is Great Cave Offensive. And it's very offensive because it's a really boring sub-game. So the idea in Great Cave Offensive is that you have these treasures. I'm an idiot. Also, this is not... There we go. But you have these treasures you have to collect, and in the bottom screen you can see that there are 60 treasures I need to collect. So, yeah, we've got our work cut out for us. I hope I can remember all the strats. So there's a cool thing, whenever you have an enemy sucked up and you open a chest, it disappears. It's kind of useful. So here we're gonna use Wing again for this section. Not just because it can hit both those buttons at the same time, but also because it's moderately fast. So a lot of the way the game works is just tricking the game into thinking that the ability you're using works in a sense, which is really nice. I have to improvise there a bit. There we go. So here I don't want to stand on the top little block there, because that basically makes sure that the treasure falls into the lava and disappears. Which we don't want. We want treasure. Nice. That one is a bit harder than it looks. And it gives me the screw attack. So a lot of these little treasures are references to other Nintendo games, and we're gonna see a bunch of those. So here we're gonna do this. Now the game expects you to go further to the right and destroy a little block. However, there's something special with that block, and we're gonna see that right now. You can hit it from the other side. I'm not sure who playtested this thing, but that's the thing you can do, so... Oh well. Also, this is the hardest mid-boss fight in the game. That was the hardest mid-boss fight in the game. I love doing that. It's the best. Ah, damn. I hope I timed it right, but I didn't. Oh well. Next we go down here. Get the tooth. Size. Ah, damn. If I jumped earlier, I could have gotten in between those two Gordos, and it's slightly faster, and it looks really cool and risky and awesome, but I failed. So, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I failed you! Another cool little treasure here. There we go. Need to be careful for all the attacks flying around, because they can steal your ability, and when they do, it's really annoying. So I got 13 treasures here, and you can see a little gold coin next to the Kirby statue on the bottom screen, which means I got everything, so that's awesome. And yes, I have died accidentally in that pit, once or twice. So, here is Fatty Whale. I got the good pattern, and I dealt with it really well, so that was awesome. Good fight. And that way we have cleared 3. So now we got these little minecart sections. Now a minecart section, the game expects you to grab the minecart and ride in it, but it's really slow compared to just jetting through it. Even if I'm getting hit a lot, it's just way better. So this is one of the more sneaky treasures in the game, where you have to go all the way down like that. I almost forgot about it. I think it's one of those treasures that a lot of people couldn't find in their first playthrough. So we're gonna go into the left door here first, and we're gonna do something sweet. We're gonna store our charge. So if you shield or jump or go into water, you can store your jet charge. This is going to be useful. This is pretty useful for, say for instance, this section. Since we have some time to charge, we can just charge and save it for that little bit. Saves a decent amount of time. I'm gonna charge here as well. And again, just Oh, damn. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. That treasure is kind of annoying. So this is the dome fossil. And this is the helix fossil. Praise helix. Nice. I still got the strats. That's a really nice strat for Poppy Bro Senior. It's not the fastest strats for defeating him per se, but it works really well in this context because we need to get to the treasure quickly. So this underwater section is kind of dangerous. If I drop my ability here, it just goes away and it loses me like a minute to re-grab, so I would very much like to not lose it. And there we go. And here we get the power paintbrush for you canvas curse nerds out there. That was a way you could do that one. Woo. So here we need to be careful so we can get this treasure. People have missed this treasure more often than not. Me included. Yeah, so this is what techs do. They steal your ability and you have to go after them to try and regain it. It can be really obnoxious, and I have lost runs to techs in the past. Get this little treasure. That one especially is really annoying. And here we get the Kirby cell phone from Kirby and the Amazing Mirror, if any of you guys ever played that. Again, charging up when we have time, and then we're gonna move on over here. So grab a mirror. Nice. I like mirrors. And again, we have all the treasures in this area. You can see that by the little coin. And now we're gonna fight against Computerizers. Now, Computerizers is pretty neat because it's basically an RPG boss fight in the middle of a Kirby game. Sadly, though, we do get hecked by RNG here because every of these enemies can attack first if they want to, and that loses you about 5 seconds when they do. So, another thing I would like to bring attention to is the fact that I'm playing in Japanese. Now, I'm not necessarily playing in Japanese because it has less characters. That's what a lot of people assume. Actually, the character count is about the same and sometimes even longer. I'm playing in Japanese because the text scrolls way faster. It is actually ridiculous how much time you save on the text scroll rather than the actual amount of text. Okay, this is going to be a bit hard. I hope I can remember everything in this section. So this is Tower. Tower has had many reroutes, and I hope I can remember what the current route did again. Woo. Oh my god, please. There we go. The little jet jump, you can destroy that. The game actually wants you to use yo-yo there, but you can use jet to your advantage a little bit easier. Here we go, a little Meta Knights fight. Luckily, jet is well suited for that one. Okay, so in this fight, I need to be a bit careful with my jet crackers. Because if I go too far forward, I destroy the bomb block, and that destroys the treasure as well, and I have to reload the room, so. Okay, now we're gonna have hammer for a bit. The reason we have hammer is because we need it a little bit later on. You'll see when we get there, so... In the meantime, we're gonna clear this section. Ew. There we go. Nice little ladders. So here I need to be a little careful with the Gordos. So I just hold the shield button, and the moment they fall down, I just shield the damage. That's another big thing in this game, is being able to shield damage. It makes a couple of boss fights really, really bearable. But yeah, this is why we needed hammer, and now we're gonna go into the elevator, so I'm gonna take another sip of my coffee. Oh, it's gone cold. That's disgusting. Ugh. I was afraid that might happen. Ow. So here we're gonna grab fire again. We need that a little later on, but it's also a good ability to have for this fight. Ah, damn. I was a bit slow, so... So Jukid has the special kind of ability is that whenever he does that grab thing, he will always make you lose your ability 100% of the times. And it's really obnoxious. So we grab Suplex, mainly because it's useful, but also because Burning Leo can breathe fire on the water, which is totally how fire works. There we go. And instead of going all the way back up those elevators, I'm gonna do a death warp here. And we start all the way back at the start of tower, which is really nice. And then we're gonna do a little mix here. That's one off. Quick reset. That's one off again. So I'm trying to get wing here. I'm usually better at this. This is painful. Oh, wow, Kinnin. Kinnin! Ah! Wow! This is special. I did practice these before starting. I thought I could do this one, but apparently not. Why do I keep getting sword? There we go! We got wing! Awesome! Oh my god. I'm usually better at that. So this is the hardest room in the game, and for marathon safety and because I don't trust myself right now, I'm gonna create a helper. Whenever you touch any of these pedestals, you get the sleep ability. It loses a bunch of time, and it makes you lose your ability. But for some reason, helpers don't have a helper for sleep. So you can just keep your ability safe there. And this is why I wanted to have wing, because this section is very big and vertical, and it makes wing really useful. Oh, get up there. So we don't really need to use wing for that part. Oh yeah. So here we're gonna switch into stone. It's gonna be useful later, especially with this specific setup with wing. Okay, let's see. Left. So coming up is the boss room. But you know what? I don't think I have the right abilities for that. I don't know why I went in there. That was a really bad idea. Sorry, I guess that's just rust, really. Not knowing where to go. Oh well. Yeah. So, you saw me use stone there to make sure I got in here. And we're also going to use stone for this little treasure. You can only really get this one with stone, so. And then we're going to go over here. That is called a helper jump, by the way. It's kind of cool. And this is why we wanted this specific setup. So Birdon will cut the wire and we can hit the peg with... Oops, shit. Oh, I'm almost dead. I need to grab this treasure. Okay. Oh, dang, I died. Just kidding. This is why I went into the boss room. It sets your respawn flag into the boss room. And then you can do a death warp into it real quick. It's really useful. So now we're gonna fight Camellia armed with Ninja. And Ninja is pretty awesome because it deals a lot of damage. I wonder if anyone got tricked by my little escapade. Come on. There we go. So yeah, that little movement section is hard to do well. I know a lot of people who've had mountains of trouble with it. And even I sometimes don't get it first try. So yeah, it's tough. Oh, that was not what I wanted to do. So the idea of this room is that you light the candle so you can see where the door is. Luckily, I know exactly where the door is, so I don't need to do that. And we're gonna switch into Jet. Now, if you notice on my bottom screen, you can see that I have a coin there, and it's the yellow for beating the boss. So we're done with Tower, finally. Tower is definitely my least favorite part of GCO. Luckily, with the current route, we get to do this section with Jet, which is awesome. And we'll go in here for another treasure. So this is Garden. Garden is a little bit more tricky, especially with this one. There we go, that was really nice. I tried doing that treasure with Jet as well, but I didn't know you could change direction in a full charge. And if you don't change direction in a full charge, that becomes a frame perfect trick. So yeah. I was really happy I found that one out. That was a nice boxy fight. Go. Damn. This movement is a little bit annoying. So now we're gonna switch into Crash real quick. And the reason why we do that is to press that button. So yeah, we just use an awesome, enormous damage dealing ability just to press a single button. Yeah. Welcome to KSSU speedrunning. So when you grab the star, you'll always land over here, so that's why I started in the right door, because it saves a bit of movement. And I'm using Jet here anyways as well. This is another sneaky treasure. You just kind of have to know that under a waterfall you can find things. It's a tricky one, and I do know that. Too late. That casually, I had trouble with that one. Let's get into the cannon. So here's another neat little thing you can do. There we go. If you hit the bottom one, the treasure will fall into the abyss, so we like to avoid that. I forgot something. There we go. There. Oh yeah, another cool Japanese little thing is that sometimes audio cuts out on that rope. So here we go to the right and grab the DK barrel. Like I said, this game does, this section does have its references. And this is the Ramia scale from OOT. Okay. Yeah. Oh, I got into that one. Okay, so that is a one-tile gap, and if you do that one perfectly like that, you just fall straight in, and it is so beautiful. One-tile gaps are horrible in this game, by the way. We haven't really noticed it yet, but soon enough. So here we're gonna help our jet and lure him into being a wheel. And we're gonna ride wheelie. So this is a really cool thing about this ability where you can go into wheelie rider and go fast. In the original SNES version of this game, this is used a lot, but in this version, being able to easily drop your ability makes it a lot less good. Also, Jet is just really strong. Okay. So we're at 58 treasures, which is the exact right amount that I need to go into this part. So we're on track. Gonna suck up Cutter here because we need that for these sections. Get in there. And we're gonna get our first, actual non-intended skip. See if I can get this. Nope. There's actually it. There we go. That's the consistent method. It's not the fastest method, but it works. So that's a nice little trick. And here's the final treasure. It's the Triforce, which we are going to sell to Ganon. Because Ganon actually has money. And we're gonna go into the final boss of the Great Cave Offensive. This is Wham Bam Rock. Damn. So you can get 3 hits while doing this. I only got 2. And here we're gonna go into stone, because he gives it to us. And if you got your 3 hits right, you could have... I could have killed him with the first stone, but I messed it up a little bit, so I won't. So here we're gonna use wheelie to skip this minecart section. And go into some elevators. And now you can see everything yellow on the bottom screen, which means I got 100% in GCO, which is really nice. Because this is 100% after all. And now this soft reset to skip the cutscene in the end saves me probably 10 minutes. That's how long that cutscene is, and why I'm so happy soft resetting works. Anyways, on to Revenge of Meta Knight. Now, the thing about Revenge of Meta Knight, which makes it special, is this. On the bottom screen, you can see a bunch of text. This one actually has a lot of little cutscenes like that, and it's the main reason why I'm playing in Japanese, because the Japanese version saves at least a minute in this section alone, over English. Nice, got the Jetniks first try. And now we hope I can keep Jet for the rest of this game mode. So this is going to be a little fight against Heavy Lobster. However, we don't actually need to fight Heavy Lobster. We can just chill over here and wait for him to do his things. Because if we wait it out, this happens. You can actually kill him before the timer runs out, but it doesn't save any time. It in fact loses a little bit of time because you have this little frame thing that happens, so you lose about a frame if you do that. There we go. Ah, dang. I do need this ability, thank you. Ow. That wasn't the smoothest way of doing that. Wow, I'm messing up little things. There we go. Ow. Ow. I am amazed I still have my ability. I'm gonna see if I can try and get that food real quick. There we go. So this is another thing that this game mode is known for. This is an auto-scroller. Yay! Auto-scrollers! Auto-scrollers are amazing! So yeah, we're gonna have to deal with this. I think it has like 3 minutes of auto-scroller, maybe more. Oh, and this is Jake. This is my pet Scarfy. Ow, I made him go away. Oh, poor Jake. Ah, damn. I wanted a full charge there, but oh well. So this is where we're gonna see our first real refights. I know it's better than one Wispy Woods. 2 Wispy Woods. Or Twin Woods, rather. There we go. Easy fight. So each game mode has its own little story. The story of this one is that... Figured I messed it up. I'm gonna do that again real quick. Dang it. The story of this one is that Meta Knight has this giant ship, and with it he wants to end the lazy lifestyle of Popstar, just the planet that Kirby lives on. And we're gonna stop him. Damn, I missed that one. There we go. So, in this room, a lot of people will instantly go to the right and up and down, but you can actually go right here. It saves a lot of time. I like to call that the elevator. Even though it's not an actual elevator, but it's fun. Okay, here we're gonna go into the cannon and get shot at. So this is our attempt to try and get onto the Hellbird, which is Meta Knight ship. And to do that, we get the help from Dynablade, who sadly gets shot down. But I think she's okay. She's a strong bird. Nice jet movement there. And here we're gonna fight against the Meta Knights. Now they all die with one jet cracker, so it's important to try and make sure I just get them. That was kind of sloppy. There we go. Oop. Not what I wanted to do. Oh, excuse me. Oops. Sorry for that sneeze. So up next we got ourselves a really cool boss fight. I hope I can pull off the strat because it's awesome. This is main cannon number 2. And by grabbing the bomb he drops, we can insta-gib him, which is awesome. It's a really nice little boss fight. And here we just jet over the entire room like that. Go fast. Don't fully remember strats there. That was Mr. Frosty. Really smooth fight, I like it. Boy, am I getting cold or something? So here we're gonna go through the ducts, and I'm gonna do a trick that might lose me a lot of time, but I don't care. I'm gonna do ledge tricking here. It saves like half a second, and it could lose you the run, so it's perfectly worth it. And on to the next auto-scroller. This time we're gonna get chased by our good friend Heavy Lobster. Now it's a bit of a joke in the community that if I don't hit all of these blocks, which I did, the run is invalid. It's not true 100%. But luckily I got it, so we are currently watching a true 100% speedrun. Nice, I got lucky. Oh, I messed it up though. You can like almost insta-kill a Heavy Lobster with that attack, but I kinda messed up. It's fine though. So here we're gonna fall down for a bit. There we go. It looks easy, but it's the thing. Thank you. Little button puzzle there that we're just cheesing through. So we have to go over here to press the button so we can go all the way down. I'm not sure if I can... How the hell did I do that? Sorry, I'm just not used to struts anymore. Anyway, the reason, by the way, whenever I mess up, I'll explain later. This is the reactor fight. Now, reactor, you can only harm the core with the little laser beam, and you can only really guide it by standing in front of it. So we just have to chill a bit and hope to get lucky. Because there are a couple of angles where the laser will not be able to hit. We got lucky though, so we don't have to deal with that. And on to the next section, which is an auto-scroller! Yay! So one of the reasons, by the way, why whenever I make a movement mistake, I go all the way back to the start, is because jet spacing is very important. If you mess up your spacing, you might get hit a lot and lose jet, which is something you never want to do. And it's definitely one of the most important things in the speedrun to keep in mind while running. There we go. Let's see if I can... Nope. So now the ship is almost down, so in a last-ditch attempt, the Meta Knights try to kill me. And I lost jet. Well, that's great. That's gonna slow things down. That's actually really annoying. Oh well. We get the fight Meta Knight with Ninja then, I guess. And so usually I'd make a joke about bringing a sword to a jet fight, but I don't have a sword now myself. But Ninja is slightly faster than Sword, so that's why I choose that over Sword. And with Meta Knight defeated, the breach blows up and the ship goes down. So now we're gonna try and escape as quickly as possible, while Meta Knight tries to kill us. Now this section isn't too hard, except if you're an idiot like me, because you only really need to jump 3 times, and I already messed up the first jump, so that's nice. And now I can just relax. The thing I like to do at the end here is that. For some reason the game still thinks you jumped off the ship, but you didn't. Haha. Kirby went down with the ship. So next up is one of my more favorite game modes. This is Milky Way Wishes. Now, in Milky Way Wishes, the gimmick is that you can no longer suck up enemies to get their ability. So instead, what you have to do is you have to collect the deluxe copy abilities. Like this one. Oh hey, it's Jet! Awesome, nice. I guess we get to go fast. So yeah, I went here first specifically because it has jet, but it not only has jet, it also has wheel and wing, so that's really cool. So here we get to see wheel in Kirby form, which is absolutely horrible. It's probably one of the worst abilities to use as Kirby. And here we get wing. A little door maze. And as you can see on the bottom screen, you have these icons. And with those icons, you can switch to any of the deluxe copy abilities you've gathered. So it's important to get your equips right, in a sense. I'm gonna go into the secret planet right here. It's full of tax. There we go. And on to Cavius. So the way you switch abilities mainly is by the touchscreen. You can, however, use the start menu to switch as well, but it's slightly slower in most cases. Ow. Go. So here's a pretty cool little boss strat you can do with copy. So copy is the only way for Kirby to get abilities from mid-bosses while they're still alive. And because Hammer is awesome, we like to try to do that one. And now that we have Hammer, we have our main boss killing thing, because that attack can insta-give most mid-bosses. And it just deals a lot of damage. A little button, and go down. You'll be seeing a bunch more of Hammer, not just in Milky Way Wishes, but a little later on in the run during the arenas as well. There we go, nice and fast. Okay, so this is Wham Bam Rock. Ah, damn. There's a way you can two-cycle Wham Bam Rock, but I messed up the timing. It's a bit of a timing trick, so if you mess it up, yeah, you just mess it up. Okay. Up next, we're gonna go into Mechai, which is a mech planet. And we're gonna do more awesome jet things. So here with the invincibility candy, we can go on this part. Rather than a very annoying movement part, it saves more than a decent amount of time. And instead of going for the elevator, we just drop down, because you can just skip the elevator. For some reason that works. And go straight up again. Oh, I forgot about that. Bit of a movement snafu there, but it's fine. So now we're gonna count. 1, 2, 3. That's a cool little trick. It's technically JP only because you cannot switch abilities that quickly after using an air dash in the English version. But oh well. So that move, where I throw the hammer, is something you can only really see me do in Milky Way Wishes, because you can get your ability back almost instantly. So it doesn't become worth doing in basically any other moment you have hammer. So now we're gonna go into what is often referred to as the destroyer of runs, Hotbeat. So Hotbeat has a lot of lava and everything, and that can happen really quickly. I'm not gonna grab jetpack because I want to do this thing anyways. So this is a cool little damage boost you can do. You're supposed to grab the invincibility candy you find up here, but you can just damage boost through it, and it saves a little bit of time. And now we get fire again. We haven't seen that one in a while, haven't we? Fire works really well for this section. But here we're gonna switch back into wing so we can get up here. And because I was fast enough, I got to do that fight with the candy still on, which is really nice. And we'll go back into jet for the remainder. For these cannons, most of them I don't need to do anything except for 2, and for those 2 I just have to mash A, so here we're gonna do something clunky. So I'm letting myself get damaged to skip animations. Sadly I got a bit unlucky and got hit there, but the idea is that when you do the hammer flip, you get hit and you get hit out of the animation, and that saves a little bit of time. So it's a nice little time save. So yeah, just to remind yourself that this is a platformer, welcome to the obligatory water level. There we go. Yeah, I don't specifically need jet right now, so this is fine. Mainly because we're going to switch into Parasol here. Now, Parasol is one of the cooler abilities in my opinion. There are a lot of crazy fast strats you can do with Parasol, but those are tasks only. It's ridiculously hard to pull them off. So I just go for it right here, and that's all you're going to see for Parasol. I actually want to keep Parasol here, because it's still useful for this section. Oh, oops. So you can technically fight this boss with stone and still go fast, but I suck at it, so I always go for hammer. So here we're gonna do a little Death Warp. If you die here, you just go back to the start of the room, and it saves you having to move all the way back into the end. If you're full health when you enter that room, it's about the same amount of time. So if you're lower than full health, you'll always save time. So it's just a nice thing to do. Here we got a little maze. Of course I know exactly where to go. Aren't I amazing? I'm gonna do a little bit of Parasol movement here. And then into the hammer. Got a little bit unlucky with the pattern here. But again, we can just do hammer throws to kill Fatty Will again. So yeah, as you might have noticed if you've been watching a bit, a lot of the bosses at this point are recycled. This is mostly because, well, there's a lot of game modes to go around, and making new bosses for every one of them is pretty hard to do well. Especially in Kirby. 2, 3. So, Floria, which is the planet I'm on right now, is pretty cool. It has these little doors where if you go into them you change the season. And by changing the season, you open up little pathways to not just the end of the stage, but also the deluxe copy abilities, which we're trying to gather. I haven't actually mentioned why we're gathering all of them. It's because it's 100%. That was the wrong direction. No, it was the right direction. Wow. I'm surprising myself by still knowing everything. By the way. So here we get Twin Woods again. And Twin Woods becomes a really easy fight with Hammer, so. I have to redo my headphones real quick so my hair stopped going into my eye. So Half Moon is kind of special. You see that little warp star down there? You could grab that, but it's slower than going all the way around like this. That was some really smooth movement, by the way. That was really nice. Did not expect myself to be able to do that. And we're gonna go down here to grab Mirror. Favorite ability of a couple of people. So here I'm gonna show grabbing an ability using the start menu. Like I said, it's usually slightly slower. For that one, it's about equal to use the start menu and the touchscreen, so I use it just there to show it off. So this is a cool little mid-boss fight where we just hammer them all to death. So, recently... Nah, let's just not talk about that. Never mind me. I'm gonna go up here. And we're gonna grab Ninja. There we go. Now, it's not actually worth to switch back into Jet right now, so that's why I'm not doing it. I would have liked to have Ninja, though, for this movement section, but oh well. And here we have Computer Virus again. Why, hello there. So I'm gonna try and one-cycle Evil Knight, which is pretty difficult to do well. And I messed it up. So the way you do that one is you get hit. But yeah. So I didn't get hit, so I couldn't do the actual one cycle. So yeah, again, this is why we use the JP version. There's all this text just goes by a lot faster. And there we go. Haha. So now we're gonna go to the final section of the game. This is of this game mode. This is Galactic Nova. It's not a Kirby game if you don't have a random shoot 'em up in the middle of it. So yeah, for this section I'm just holding down the A button and just going through it nicely. However, what you can also do is mash it. And we're gonna use that a little later on when we fight the actual Galactic Nova boss. And doing that just deals a lot of damage really quickly, so we're gonna do awesome things with that. So this is a Galactic Nova Nucleus, or Heart of Nova, and what you try to do is you have to kill these, but we're gonna, after killing this one, we're gonna leave 2 alive. Instead kill this one, so we'll go backwards, straight into the 2 that we didn't kill. Which is a useful little strat. I like it. And then we're gonna get to fight the final boss of Milky Way Wishes, called Marks. Yes, actual Marks. Now the first 2 things he does is always set, and after that it's random. I got unlucky with where I was standing, so... You can kill him before he goes up into the air like that. Oh wow, I didn't even do enough damage there for the swag kill. Oh well. So that was Milky Way Wishes, and I need the soft reset. Good morning. And by completing Milky Way Wishes, we suddenly unlock more stages. Now I'm gonna go straight into the arena. So the arena is basically a boss rush, where you get to fight all the bosses that we've fought against already. And this time we get to do it with Hammer. Like that. And all of the boss threats are really cool with Hammer. So yeah. And against Meta Knight, we're gonna use the Helper trick again to make sure that we keep our Hammer, because why would I bring a sword to a Hammer fight? There we go. Nice Meta Knight fight. And then we're gonna do the same strat I did just a moment ago. Only a little bit less fast. There we go. So, main cannon number 2 has a really cool strat. I hope I can pull it off. Ah, damn. Got unlucky. You can be thrown up to the top of the cannon, and if that happens, you kill him a little bit quicker. It's a neat little strat. I'm not gonna try and go for the quick kill on Evil Knight here, because that loses me my hammer, which is something I like to keep. Got some really nice luck with this fight though. So you also have these little mid-boss rushes where we get the fight against mid-bosses, which usually go by pretty quickly with Hammer. Unless you're an idiot like me. Okay, I'm gonna grab our first tomato right here. Basically just for safety. And we do more damage boost throughout the arena, so there we go. Nice. Yeah, I'm messing up the strats here. Damn. What? Game? Game is being mean. That's not supposed to happen. I'm just gonna grab a safety tomato here. That's just... yeah. That's annoying. Damn. So you can do the 2 cycle on this Wham Bam Rock as well, but again I failed it. Oh well. A 3 cycle is still pretty fast, so... being suboptimal is fine. Wispy Woods dies really quickly against Hammer, so that's also nice. And for Reactor, once again, we just have to chill right here. I will try to speed up the cycles as much as I can, however. That's an annoying position, but it's fine. I always love getting that sound going. So we've seen this strat before as well. Basically animation cancel all my attacks. And this is the reason why KSSU is better than KSS, because we can do that. Sadly, it's against the best character in the game, but oh well. I messed that one up. Oh well. So if I get lucky, which I did, but I messed up the strat. So there's a 1 cycle strat I could have done there, but I completely forgot about how to do it. Would have been awesome, but yeah. Heavy Lobster is kind of a what you see is what you get fight. And now for Kreka, there's a really cool little thing I can do. That's the only time that your hammer flip will hit Kreka like that. It's a cool trick to do. Makes the fight faster. And in every single arena fight, the final fight of the arena will be marks. All the other fights are completely randomized. So we got our second hand at doing the quick kill, which we did, which is awesome. And then we're gonna go over to Revenge of the King. Now, Revenge of the King is basically Spring Breeze on steroids. This is actually quite a hard game mode to do fast. Ow. Yeah. So we start off with Cutter because it's basically the only ability available to us. And it's still pretty fast. Now, I could do a very risky and difficult mix right here, but we're not going to because, well, it's risky and difficult, and this is a marathon. So we like to do some safe strats. Honestly, I don't even do that one in 100% anyways. That's an IL-only strat. However, we do get the fight with Cutter right here against Fan. Now I need to be careful because if I touch Fan, she will throw me, or they will throw me around, and I don't like that. It's slow. And we just get to do this little movement part. so that's all we're gonna see of... Wow. This is all we're gonna see of Cutter. I got really unlucky with the tigers there. And we're gonna switch into Ninja. Mash that A button. And we're gonna do that right before starting Wispy Woods. Because this attack falls directly inside of the iframe, so... we get to do this fight nice and fast. Damn. And we get dances after every fight. Which are cute. Also, Ninja is pretty okay for the upcoming movement section right here. But I kind of messed that up. It can go a lot smoother than that. And here we're gonna drop Ninja. We're basically done with it, and we're gonna go into the easiest mix in the game, which is basically mash A. And then straight into Jet right here. So yeah, in case you haven't gotten sick of Jet yet, here's more. You really do need to love Jet to be able to run this game. If you really hate Jet, then this game is not for you. But to me, it is a wonderful ability. It really has more depth to it than you think, watching what I'm doing. There's a lot of little things that you can do with it. Anyways, this is the Lolo and Lala fight. And the cool thing with Jet is that you can one-shot them individually. Nice! I got to 2-cycle. On the second round, when you killed one of them, the other one moves faster. So you have to time your grab basically perfectly. Which is awesome when you get it. Focus a little bit on this section. The movement here is a little bit tricky. It's not really Jet safe until you get to this part. Now, if any of you have played KDL1, you might actually recognize some of the... I forgot to start there. Whatever. You might actually recognize some of the level design in this game mode. Because it's directly lifted off of KDL1 sometimes. Which is pretty neat. This room is a really good example of that. This is basically a carbon copy of one of the rooms in the first Kirby game ever. It's a nice little homage. Oh, I got unlucky there. Just jet all the way to the top. And we get to fight Krakow. Ah, damn. That was what I wanted to do. Call it Rust. So, on to the next section. This is Kabula, where you get to fight with a shoot 'em up. Now, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to stay above Kabula as much as possible, because that way you get double hits onto her, and it's really useful if you can get that. And now we get into Castle Diggity. So again, this is a nice little section with a little bit of story to it, where Diggity is trying to finally get rid of Kirby once and for all. Obviously, we're not gonna let him. Damn. Damn! Also, there was a pun there. Benenedy said he had an easy time. Got an easy time because it's a clock. Never mind. Damn. There's usually a certain pattern that this boss does, but he didn't do it this time. And that way I can kill him really quickly and really smoothly. Got unlucky. So, this Fan is the worst. This is Fan on hyperspeed. And you just have to get a little lucky that they don't mess you up too much. So now we get to go into the Twin Fire Line fight. That was pretty smooth. There we go. Now we get a bunch of text that I really don't remember what it says anymore because it's been really long and you're focusing on the top screen rather than the bottom screen. That was stupid. And again, we get to destroy the best character in the game. However, for some reason, right at the end here, you can see him in the background. Anyway, say hello to Mas DDD. He gives us a hammer before we get to clobber him, so that's nice. Got unlucky there. There's a way you can kill him before he does this cycle. But you have to get lucky to do it. And this way you can easily defeat him. So that was Revenge of the King. At the end, we're gonna soft reset again to skip the cutscene. And we're gonna go on to the worst game mode, in my opinion. This is Helper to Hero. Now you saw all those fighters, and you can... this is basically an arena with a set order with all of those fighters. So you can choose the helpers in this game mode, rather than like an ability or Kirby. The one I'm going for is Bonkers, because it's the hammer ability. Now you'd expect that in 100% we have to do all of the helpers. Luckily, however, the in-game defined 100% counter only allows you to do only one cycle of Helper to Hero. So we only have to beat it once, and because of that we're gonna go with the fastest, which is Bonkers. There is, if you defeat all the bosses with if you get all helpers, you do get a little bonus cutscene at the end. So at one point I decided to, just for the hell of it, make a category named All Cutscenes. It's a meme category, it doesn't have a leaderboard or anything, it's just for fun. And in all cutscenes, you have to watch all of the cutscenes. So it's basically 100% including all helpers. Which it takes about 6 hours to do. 5 hours, yeah, 6 hours sounds about right. It's pretty crazy. I'm definitely not good with helper to hero. The current world record for doing helper to hero all helpers is about 2.5 hours. My PB barely even scratches sub 4. So yeah. Maybe one day I'll go for serious helper to hero run, all helpers runs. Don't expect it. But yeah, it's a great thing we only have to do this once in 100%. It would make the run pretty horrible otherwise. There we go. So a cool attribute of Bonkers's hammer flip is that the hurt box stays on longer than Kirby's. So you can basically do earlier hammer flips, and the damage will just still stay on the screen. It makes the upcoming fight. It makes an upcoming fight a little bit easier. Ow. Fun fact, in the Japanese version you don't want to get hit during these fights because the text is longer than if you do get hit. In the English version, it's the other way around. You actually do want to get hit because it is a few characters shorter. So against Meta Knight, we just deal so much damage as we can with hammer flips. It's pretty nice if you get a couple off. And on to the final bosses of... So yeah, because of that hitbox thing, you can actually 2-cycle Wham Bam Rock extremely easy with Bonkers. And then we get to Wham Bam Jewel. Ah, damn. I should have already killed him, but I kind of forgot the strats. It's been a while. It's been a while. Anyways, that was Wham Bam Jewel. And with that, we completed the worst sub-game, and we're gonna go into the best. So this is Meta Nightmare Ultra, where we get to fight against... We get to go through the first 5 sub-games as Meta Knight. And this is what I originally submitted. So we're gonna see some real speed now. So Meta Knight has these little blue balls that are falling towards him all the time. We call them points, and they gather in your sword in the bottom screen. And with it you can use special abilities. Like the one that I'm using right now called Meta Quick, where you go fast and you get these cool after images and everything. And we're going to be using Meta Quick throughout this speedrun. Now, in a true 100% run, I would be going for RTA strats through here, which are slightly different than the in-game time strats, but we're gonna go with in-game time strats because, well, I'm practiced with those, so... So yeah, the maximum number of points you can have is 50, and you basically want to try and be at 30 as much as possible because it gives you this ability. So with a cost of 30 points, this is Mac Tornado. It deals a lot of damage to everything on screen, and it's really useful against bosses. So you're gonna be seeing that a bunch. There we go. Another thing on the bottom screen that you can look at is the in-game timer. It's like right above the sword and everything. And the in-game timer is special because it pauses during every single load, like this one. There we go. And it also pauses while using a mech tornado. And this is what separates in-game time from RTA. In the RTA speedrun, whenever a tornado would be slower in real time, you won't use it. But in in-game time, we want to use as many tornadoes as we can, because it just saves a bunch of time, because it deals damage while the timer is paused, in a sense. Again, I'm going for in-game time strats because that's what I'm used to. And they're cooler anyways. So as you might have noticed, this game is quite glitchless. There are barely any true glitches in this run. However, there is a really cool one coming up right now. I'm gonna hope I can get it. So that is a mega jump, and we're gonna do another one right here. So what you do with a mega jump is, by the way, I'm pausing and unpausing to get the blocks to break instantly. So what you do during a mega jump is there we go. You do a dash attack, and then you interrupt the dash attack with a helper call on the touchscreen. That's the only way you can actually interrupt it. And when you do that, for some reason, your state is set to normal, but your actual speed isn't. So what you can do is you can add speed to it, and by jumping, you keep that speed for a lot longer. And because of that, you can go really fast over the screen. And it is an in-game time only strat, because during the helper animation, the in-game time pauses, which is useful. In RTA, we don't use this strat, because the animations take long enough for it not to be worth it. But again, I'm used to in-game time, so we're just gonna be doing in-game time. Another cool trait of the fact that it pauses during loads is that for this game mode, every single emulator is allowed to be run on, which makes this a pretty cool thing. However, the extreme use of the touchscreen during this game mode might make it not worth too much. I messed up that mega jump, so we're just gonna continue. So yeah, because I have too many points, we're gonna tornado this bonkers. It's a cool thing in Meta Nightmare Ultra or in Dynablade, where you basically can have too many points at one point and you just have to use them. But from this moment onwards, every point I get is a point I need. So I need to be careful of not using it in stupid ways that aren't metaquicks, basically. There we go. Another important thing about Meta Nightmare Ultra is the spacing of the metaquicks. They run out after about 10 seconds, and after that happens, you have to just reapply it, usually, and timing those is important. Sometimes I do metaquicks earlier or later so that the next metaquick lines up with a nice moment where I have time to take my thumb off the controls and onto the touchscreen. It's actually one of the more important parts about Meta Nightmare Ultra. that a lot of people don't really realize. There are a couple of nice little routing tricks like that. So my point count right now is really nice. 45 is basically one off perfect, but it works for me. And now it's perfect. Why, thank you. So that allows me to skip a few extra points here and there for the upcoming section. So I want to have 43 points going into this part, and I do, which is nice. So this is a little mid-boss rush again that we've seen earlier. And we're gonna try and have a tornado and a meta quick at the end of this mid-boss rush. So we need about 38 points at the end. Now, during the Kirby section of Dynablade, we didn't get to see this part. So, on the map screen of Dynablade, you have this boss fight walking around, which is this specific one. And you don't have to fight him as Kirby if you're just gonna go through it quickly. However, as Meta Knight, you get forced into doing basically everything in the game. Everything except a couple of things that I'll talk about later. So again, we're gonna fight against Dynablade, do a cool little tornado. And upstab him to death. There we go. And then we go to Great Cave Offensive. Now, in Great Cave Offensive, you might recall that as Kirby, I had to collect all these treasures and stuff. Well, as Meta Knight, you don't have to do that at all. You can just skip right through them. And they actually don't exist as treasures, but as little food items. So you're not even able to collect all of them, technically. I mean, you could try and go for it, I guess, but it's an awful waste of time when you can just go fast. It's one of the reasons I absolutely adore this game mode, because it's just built for speedrunning. There we go, and we get the fight against Frosty. Now Frosty can do two patterns, and he gives me the easy pattern. The jump over pattern, I can actually mess up a little bit and cause him to still go into the next section of his attacks, but oh well. I didn't get that. We might get that on the next one. So once again, we get the minecart section, and once again, we're just gonna skip the minecart over just doing a bunch of dash attacks in a row. It is the main movement, the main way of movement in this game mode, just doing dash attacks. And again, spacing them out correctly is very important. There we go. And now we get to fight against computer virus again! So this is one of the reasons why 100% is a pretty obnoxious speedrun to do, because if you get completely unlucky on all 6 of these computer virus fights, you can lose over a minute, basically. You can lose a minute on luck with these fights, and it's absolutely horrendous, and it makes grinding this game a bit of a chore. Anyways, on to the next section. So you might remember that tower is coming up right here. Now, a cool thing that the game developers did is they basically closed the gates so you can't even enter tower. So it's like the game developers were like, yeah, no, you're not going to go into that one ever as Meta Knight. So that is a developer-intended skip, so to speak, which is pretty cool. They also like remove all the doors here, for instance, so you can only really go one way. It's a nice touch. I like it. They understood what you need for a good speedrunning mode. Go. And then we're done, basically done with Great Cave Offensive. And we're gonna go on to the next game mode. Or the next level, technically. This is still Meta Nightmare Ultra. So, yeah, you might remember that when we did this as Kirby, we were destroying Meta Knight's ship. And now we're going to do the exact same as Meta Knight. That is interesting. Another little thing is we actually have to kill Heavy Lobster this time. We don't get the little cutscene where he just flies away. That was a good fight. Do another mega jump right there. To go fast. Ah, damn. I shouldn't have trusted my damage output there. There we go. So yeah, returning on the fact that we're destroying our own ship. There are a lot of fan theories going around. Some people say like, yeah, well, the story of this game mode is that Meta Knight wants to prove he is the best warrior in the game, so he destroys his own ship to prove that he's absolutely awesome. Nah, that's fair. That's fair. What I like more as a theory is the fact that he got so angry at his subordinates that they couldn't kill Kirby, that he is just going to murder them all himself. That's my theory. I might be wrong. I might be a bit sadistic. Okay, losing time on an auto-scroller, always nice. But yeah. And here we get the fight against OSP Woods again. Now in RTA we wouldn't actually use Tornado here, but whatever. It's one of those moments where you basically gain a single second if you don't do it. So this is another moment where you can get a nice little amount of points. And we're gonna go up here. So, an interesting fact about Mech Tornado, you can see that the animation has you going into the center and out. So you expect that the damage center is the middle, but it's actually the last known position of Meta Knight before using the attack. So you could see there with the bonkers is that they were both flying to the left, so to the other side of Meta Knight. We're gonna see that come up a little bit later again. It's a cool little factoid that saves a bit of time in this run. So here we get the fight against the Meta Knights. I want to space out my dashes correctly, so I get them down really quickly. That was some really nice fights. So I want to have about 50 points going into the next couple of screens. And that looks hard. That's harder than it looks, by the way. And we're gonna go into this fight. I'm gonna use the tornado, and again, I'm standing to the left of both of them, so they'll both fly off to the right. Which allows me to mop them up with a single dash. It's really cool and fast. And against main cannon number 2, we're gonna use another tornado. So now I'm kind of starving for points, so I'm gonna move through this room in a very specific way, so I can get a lot of points. If I don't mess it up, at least. It's kind of sloppy there. Oh well. Then we get the fight against Mr. Frosty. Hi, Mr. Frosty. Bye, Mr. Frosty. And this is actually a cool thing. You just saw me jump in midair. It's one of the few glitches in this game. We like to call that a DDJ, or a drop double jump, which is a horrible name for it, but it works. Basically, for some reason, if you slash your sword or you bump into a wall when you ran off a ledge, you can jump in midair, like so. It's really weird, it's really consistent and easy to do, but yeah, it's the thing. It's one of the 2 glitches in this game that are useful, honestly. There's another glitch that is absolutely hilarious, and if we have time, I would actually like to show that one off, but we'll see that later after I'm done with the run. It is the funniest thing you'll see in a long time, though. Unless you like memes, then you might see something funnier. Nice little heavy lobster fight. I have a good amount of points, but I'm still going to go down here like that to collect more points. Because more points are always more better. Especially because we're coming up to the end, so it's nice to have a really solid amount of points. And go into this section. So again, we have to go over here to destroy some blocks so we can actually go down this elevator. Ow. It's fine, not getting those points. I have a lot of points anyway, so I can just go like that. So with Kirby, you've seen me do the whole shebang of getting the laser into the reactor core. With Meta Knight, we can just use a tornado and insta-kill it, which is a godsend. Also, the Meta Nightmare Ultra Revenge of Meta Knight ends at the reactor rather than me fighting myself, which is an upgrade from the previous time, from the previous Meta Nightmare. Also, this used to be a TAS-only strat, until someone was like, hey, we can do that as well. It's a really cool way of gaining points. What we basically do is we constantly kill and respawn an enemy, and by doing that we can gain a whole lot of points really quickly. And we're gonna use that for a point route with a shit ton of points. I got him my 1 curse. Heck yeah. Anyway, more water level. There we go. There's not too much I can really say about this section right now. There we go. We used to do a meta quick right here, but we scrapped that one in favor of having more points, simply because the point rank we're going for requires us to have a lot of points. We're not gonna hit 50 for a long time. And I got the good pattern again, nice. RNG is nice with me today. Go. This time we will go straight to the right here, so we can get into this fight instantly, rather than going all the way around and grabbing the deluxe copy ability. So we're not Kirby. We might not even be a Kirby. And onto the Destroyer of Runs. Hotbeat is probably even worse in Meta Nightmare Ultra than it is with Kirby, because of the cutthroat nature of the current like high level times. Ah, damn. I kind of messed up that Mega Jump. If you do that Mega Jump right, you can get past that without getting hit. There we go. It is definitely the coolest Mega Jump though. Most of the Mega Jump, by the way, only like save half a second to a second, but with the times we're currently able to get at the top level, it is worth going for them. Because overall, they save about 10 seconds, and we're currently like 2 seconds away from getting a really crazy time, so any second we can get is nice. Anyway, on to Cavius. I like to call this the restoration area because you have a lot of mid-bosses, and some of them give some health, so if you messed up a bunch and have a low amount of points in health, well, this is the perfect time to regain those. That was kind of bad. Thought I might double hit. That was a really bad Bugsy fight, but oh well. So we're gonna get really close to 50 points, but we're not quite going to get it. This is about the closest we're gonna get to 50 points, I think, for the entire run now. For the rest of this run, I mean. There we go. So basically the entire point route has been building up to this stage. This is Mechai. And we used to have way less points here. This is because... There we go. We moved a couple of things and we got more points, and because of that we're able to do a Mach Tornado we didn't used to do. It's something that the guest has found. Guest is the current world record holder of this game mode, but I am very inclined to beat him. But yeah, now we can do a Mach Tornado on this guy. It saves probably only a couple of seconds, but like I said, a couple of seconds is more than worth it for the amount of optimization we are trying to go for. So yeah, now I'm kind of starving for points again, so I'm gonna move through here, trying to get points along the way. Like so. That was really nice and smooth. And on to the star. So at the end of this room, I want to have 31 points, and I have 24, so I need to gather a bit more points. Usually the point route fixes itself at this section, but I didn't get enough points in the end. That's fine. Get in there. Get in there. Wow. And on to the last of the computer viruses. This is number 6. And like I said, you can lose over a minute on these in total. I got unlucky there. And then the final one, we can do this nice strat, but again, unlucky. Unlucky me. There we go. And that tornado will deal with the rest of his health. You can only use the tornado when they're down on the ground. If you use it anytime else, they don't actually have a hitbox, so yeah. You're basically screwing yourself over at that point. Ooh. It's gonna get close if I get underestimate. Just noticed. Anyway, this is the final boss of Meta Nightmare Ultra. This is Galactonite, the strongest warrior in the galaxy. And we're gonna prove that he is not the strongest warrior in the galaxy. So the reason we wanted 31 points going up there is so that when Galactonite spawns minions, we have exactly enough points for another tornado. There is RNG where he will not do the summoning of minions, and if you get that, you lose a bunch of time, and it's really annoying, and I hate it. But anyways, that was Meta Nightmare Ultra, and I'm gonna put my DS down and do a little stretch, because this is the first time in about 2 hours that I have more than 10 seconds of absolutely nothing. It's nice. Now the important part that I want to know is what my in-game time was. And we got to see that now. That's a 24:39. That's a pretty damn good in-game time run. I'm pleased with that. Anyways, with that, we unlock the final game mode in the game. We unlock the true arena. Oh, that's the wrong button. So the true arena is a souped-up version of the arena, and we get to fight against all the newer bosses we fought against in the last couple of game modes, like Lolo and Lala's Revenge. If I don't mess this up, yeah, Thomas, I might still get sub-estimate. But it's been a long time since I did the true arena, and the true arena is actually hard to do fast. A lot of people have never even beaten the true arena, so yeah. I'm messing up. There we go. Smooth. So the first, I want to say 6 bosses are completely random, and then the final 4 are set bosses. Let's see if I can... nope. Didn't get the mega flip there. Damn, come in. Another thing you might notice between the true arena and the arena is that instead of maximum tomatoes, you only have small tomatoes, which is why taking damage is not a nice thing to have happen to me. Hello? Was I really that off? Especially against Kabula, it might mean that you're gonna get hurt a lot. A lot of people get so damaged on Kabula that they die. Almost did so as well. Usually the only moment that I take damage in the first 6 bosses is on Kabula. But this time, I have no more health, so I need to take this a little bit more safely. Got unlucky on Master DD again. There we go. So yeah, this is the final 4. We start off with Master DD, then we go into Wham Bam Jewel. Why do I keep losing hammer? Damn, that doesn't reach. No! This deals so much damage. Oh god. If I mess up more, I might die. That's not good at all. True arena is hard, y'all. So now I get to get the fight against Galactonite. Damn. If you manage to manipulate the damage values on Galactonite properly, you're able to skip him going for minions. Why am I doing this? Why am I being so bad? It's a really bad fight. Okay, so the final boss of the game. This is Mark's Soul. Now, Mark's Soul is a souped-up version of the original Mark's, and this can get really ugly if things don't go my way. So, I forgot about this! That's a horrible position. I can't do anything with that. Not with this health. So, where Mark's spawns is completely random, so you have to get a bit lucky. Okay. Yeah, I didn't think I would make estimate. I got lucky there. Oh no! Oh, I thought I could live through that. Whoop. Let's try that again. I didn't think I would make estimate getting out of Meta Nightmare Ultra anyways. So, in the in-game timer for the True Arena, it takes about 4 minutes to complete usually. Good runners can get sub 4s. However, in RTA, it usually takes about 5 minutes to complete. But yeah, if you die, you definitely can't... if I died, I definitely couldn't have gotten estimate. Oh well. And that's for not practicing this after not having played for a year. If not longer. I haven't done 100% in so long. That's on me. Oh well. At least I get to show off how it's done properly. At least consistently. There are like really fast and crazy strats you can go for. But I don't like going for them in hundo runs. I like to go for safety strats there. Kinda messing up a few things though. Damn. Okay. There we go. Let's hope I don't take more damage on the upcoming fights. I have way more health than I had in the previous fights, so that's fine. There we go. There we go. Again, didn't get lucky on DDD. Gonna grab a bit of health for safety. Oh, now I know what I'm doing wrong. Oh well, this works. I finally remembered my Wham Bam strat, Wham Bam Jewel strat. Took me long enough. Not the best Galactonite fight, but a lot better than what I showed in the previous True Arena. Anyways, this time we get to do Mark Soul with a lot more health, so we should be good now. So yeah, again, with Mark Soul, wherever he spawns is completely random, so you need to get a little bit lucky with what he does. What you like him to do is to sit somewhere around here. Because it allows you to do a bunch of hammer flips on him. And I just skipped an attack. So usually what he does there is he goes up and drops things down. But if you deal enough damage, he actually doesn't do that. You skip it. So it's a very important part. And get ready on time. It's not yet. It's right after the results screen here.
Alright, just call it for me.
And time. Nice, I actually got 100%. So, when you get 100%, you get this cute little cutscene.
Your time was 2:16:01, by the way.
That's garbage. So yeah, to give you an idea of what a good run is, the current world record held by me is a 2 hours, 3 minutes, and 23 seconds time. So yeah, this was not a very good run in the end, but it's okay. I haven't run this game in over a year. So yeah, anyways, thank you very much for having me.
It was a joy and a pleasure.
Yeah. So I'm not sure what's up next, but I think you know better than me.
Up next, we have Pokemon Red and Blue, any percent no save corruption by Dunkle Titus. We are going to be cutting the stream really briefly just to switch over restreamers. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.